But the key differential in the experience of shifting focus from the physical focus to the non-physical focus, or from the physical into the etheric, astral, soul, and spirit planes, is when I'm in the physical, I will be looking at a blackness that seems to be in front of me, as though there's a black wall in front of me and a space between me and that blackness. As I begin to shift focus, and I do this consciously just by calling out my guide's name, Naru, I just sort of say it out into the space, and it sort of steps me forward out into it. Or perhaps I might just say, hello, out into that space, and that sort of shifts me forward out into it. Now I'm fully surrounded by 3D blackness. It's very quick. When it happens, it's noticeable. When it happens, if I'm paying attention, most of the time I'm paying attention. It's also feelable and experienceable. So the whole situation is quite different than looking at the black wall in front of me with the space between us, and then stepping fully into it to where the blackness surrounds me, and I'm having a 3D surround sound experience. And this is the void, or what I term the void. From the void, I begin to feel as though I'm floating. So the majority of the sense of weight goes away. At this time, I'll begin to feel the sensations of what is my body or my field begin to change. It will become vibrational. It will become electric, perhaps electromagnetic. I don't know. But it changes, and I will feel these various vibrations. At a certain time, I will begin to be rotated. So just envision a fetus in the womb, just floating in the liquid and just rotating. And so often I will feel myself being rotated fully 180 degrees in one direction. It'll put me, say, upside down. And then 180 degrees in the opposite direction. So that if I was facing forward to begin with, now I'm facing the complete opposite. When I'm able to maintain consciousness through this whole process, at this time my astral ears will open, let's say. I will begin hearing sounds, hearing voices, conversations, things like this. Some are pleasant, some are not pleasant. Most are pleasant. I give my attention to where I'm wanting to go. And at this time, I will often work with consciously participating in where I'm going to go. And so I might bring to my mind an idea, such as, let's go to Eric's yoga room, or this morning I just sent out a shout out to any friends or loved ones that were trying to contact me. And I said, if there are any friends or loved ones trying to contact me, let's go meet with them. And this one worked. A very cool thing also happens in this, and I think I'm approaching the 10, so I'm going to go into a second video for it. I'll be right back. Nope, I'm way over the 10 already, so I'll just continue. So the interesting thing that happens is I've been repeatedly coming into a scene over and over and over and over again. So, for instance, 2 mornings ago, when I was moving through this phasing process and changing focus into a non-physical environment, I came awake in a long rectangular room with hardwood floors. And I was sitting on the corner near one of the short walls and just looking down toward the other short wall where there was a door. And I thought to myself, I want to go through the door. And I started focusing on the door and started moving toward the door. And as I got closer to the door, I started seeing a portion of the door right in the center at the molecular level. And so it didn't look like a door, it looked like tiny moving points of light. But I didn't go through it. I transitioned out of the room instead. Moments later, staying with the process, I transitioned right back into the room. However, before I got there, my ears switched online, and I was hearing a long, maybe 5-minute conversation of what was happening in the room before I arrived. When I arrived, I was sitting in the same place, but this time there was a man next to me who gave me a creepy feeling. But anyway, same room, same situation, and I was just trying to determine what was happening because I couldn't tell. And I transitioned out of the room again, staying with the process. I transitioned back into it a third time. This time I'm standing in front of the door, and the door is ajar. And I have this sense that I'm not supposed to leave this room. The sense was that I was being held here, not fully with my cooperation. And I did walk out the door and started down the steps when I heard some people coming from around the corner, and I just sort of froze there on the steps. And that's when I transitioned back out again. So anyway, that's the interesting thing. I seem to be phasing into the same place 3 times. This has been ongoing for some time, and just because it is a pattern, I'm going to mention it here for myself and for any comments from any of you, all of which I do read and I do appreciate.